About to start, but the end of the summer is my favorite time of the year. No, not because school is around the corner, but because fantasy football season has arrived. Fantasy football is a way of keeping up with friends and family while enjoying football. After conducting many resources, such as Fantasy Football Index magazine, my roommate and current East Stroudsburg student, Fred Cam, and sportingcharts.com, I found many interesting facts on fantasy football. How many of you guys in the class are currently in the fantasy football league? What's your record?
I'm fine.
It's not bad. You can still make the playoffs. Today I'm going to explain the basics of fantasy football. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the background. Second, I'm going to follow by talking about the selection process of your team. And finally, I'll finish off by talking about how the point system works. What is the definition of fantasy football, and when did it originally start? Well, according to sportingcharts.com, fantasy football is a game played by football fans in which each person is allowed to select his or her own dream team. Meaning, you can select anybody in the NFL. You can select two dudes from the same team, three guys from the next team, and go back to that first team you selected and pick another two dudes for that team. How long back does fantasy football go? As reported by Fantasy Index magazine, a guy named Wilfred Wallenbach, who at the time was a part owner of the Oakland Raiders, came up with the idea in 1962. Two dudes from the Oakland Tribune met with him in the Manhattan Hotel, and they quickly discovered that Wallenbach's idea was great. Now that you see fantasy football has its roots, now I'd like to move on and talk about the selection process of your team. The selection process of your fantasy football team is the foundation of winning a championship in your league. According to Fred Cam, two-time ESU SGLK, which is the league you've been playing with in a couple of years, preparing for the draft is key. You may need to prepare weeks, months, even days. Fantasy football comes out with a magazine each year with the projections for the beginning of the year, so you don't have to go into your draft looking stupid and pick wrong people. The draft can be online or in person. Usually the way I do it, it's online. It's much easier, or you can do it in person. And the selection of the draft is random, meaning it don't matter the order. Now that I've talked about the whole selecting your team process, I'm now going to explain how to win each week. Each week, your team plays another person in your league. I know how I said you draft 16 players, but each week you have 9 starters. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, a flex, which is a receiver or a tight end, or defense or kicker. The point system works for passing the quarterback. Every touchdown is 4 points, every 25 yards is 1 point, and an interception is -2. For running backs, every touchdown is 6 points, and every 10 yards they rush is 1 point. Receiving, every touchdown is 6 points, 10 yards receiving is 1 point. And at the end of the week, all your points will go up, total combined to your other person you're playing, and then guy with the most points wins. Today, I hope I explained thoroughly the basics of fantasy football to a point where you guys have more knowledge than prior. Fantasy football is a way of keeping up with football and enjoying it with friends and family. Today I've talked about what fantasy football is and what its roots are, how the selection process of your team is, and the foundation of winning a championship, and how you can win each week. Football may be a game to some, but to me with football comes fantasy football, and that means it's time to hustle my friends and bring their egos.